Hi, so welcome to part B or part 2 of writing your first Pascal program. In the first session, we looked at outputs and changing screen colors and so on. Let me bring that up right away. So, in this last session, we looked at this application here, which pretty much just cleared the screen and output some text onto the screen and waited for the user to press any key to continue. What we're going to look at today is very similar, but we're going to ask the user for some inputs. Store that input in some variables and output those variables very quickly back to the screen. So in this this script that we did, lesson 1, we looked at just output and waiting on the user. The input was waiting on the user to press any key. This time, instead of just waiting on the user to press any key, we're going to ask the user for their name and which country they're from. All right, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to start a new script, and right away I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call this one lesson 2 02, and we're going to get started. Right, again we're going to start with program, and let's call it name and address, or name and country. How about that? Right now, right away you see there, let me just put in my begin and end because my brain will go fuzzy if I don't do that, and save it, F2. Right, so right away you see here the names of things that you give in Pascal needs to follow some conventions, so they can be very long. For instance, here, name and country, you can separate them with underscores, but you cannot have a space. If you put a space, look what happens. If I click on compile, it's going to throw an error, compile failed, because it's expecting a semicolon at the end of this and here, right? And what happened there basically is that you'll have to space. You're not allowed to have spaces in the variable names and program names and so on, but you can have underscores. You can't also start with a number, right? So that will, I'm pressing F9 now, that'll also throw an error as well, right? And you may have noticed this in sometimes when you're signing up for different web services and so on online, your username can't start with a number and so on. It's a pretty standard programming thing where you must start with a character, normal character, alphanumeric character, like, well, actually a character, and then you can have anything else after that. So you could actually have 19 at the end here, and that would work, right? So you must start with a character. You can have as many underscores as you like, no problems here like this, right? But you cannot start with a number, right? So anyway, so back to what we're doing today. For this one, we are going to, like I said, ask the user for their name and their country and output it back and store it. So let's go on and do what we learned in the last one. We're going to put user CRT here, and we're going to, same thing, we're going to set the text color to, what did we have it last time, white, and the text background to what was it, blue, green, and then we're going to clear the screen, CLR SCR, right? Let's put a read key here. Let's compile that. Yeah, no issues there. Now let's ask the user for their name. So here we're going to ask, you're going to prompt, what we call prompt the user for their name, and I'm going to say, let's put a little asterisk, please, and always be nice, please enter your full name, and just put a little 2 colons there and close that off there. Now notice I'm using right, okay? So that's first thing you should notice, because when I use right, the cursor is going to remain right here when you right here, so that the person can type in their name, John, or whatever. So we want the cursor to remain right there. So we're putting these greater than signs here and leaving that alone like that. Now what we need now is something to store, capture the name when they're typing it, right? After they've typed it in others, right? So what we need is a variable. Now for names, for text-based data types, we need a data type called string. So that's why I love the space here. In Pascal, you need to tell Pascal um, from the outset what variables you're going to be using in your program, right? You can't just in the middle of your program say, okay, I need a variable called name. So you must what we call declare your variables, and in this area here called your variable declaration section of your program. And how you tell Pascal this is your variable declaration section, you just type the keyword var, and then you can go to town on creating how many variables you need, right? So for instance, we need a variable called full name, and the data type for that variable is string. Now string is a data type that you use to capture text. It literally stands for like a string of characters or a string of letters basically, right? So anything that's text based uses this data type called string. So how we read this line is that we've just declared, using var, we've just declared a variable name, full name, colon, we read colon as of type string, right? Full name of type string, and we give it a very, verbose, a very user-friendly variable name, because, I mean, you could have just put f here, and that means nothing to anyone. Sometimes fn, and that still means nothing to anyone. That could be file name as opposed to file name. So what you want to get into the habit of doing is using pretty descriptive variable names. It's a good habit to get into earlier on in your programming career, right? So that you don't have to document, okay, this is captures user's full name, because it's right there in your username already. So you don't have to document anything further because your variable name is self-explanatory. All right. And then we're going to use another one called country of type string as well, because country could be Trinidad, could be Mexico, and so on. And you will need a string variable. It's not a number, it's not a fraction, it's not a decimal fraction or anything like that. It's a string of characters, right? So we just declared. Notice I don't have to type var here and var here. Oops. Notice you don't have to do that. You just have to put var once. I've seen some students doing that, and that it wouldn't throw an error, but it's not really correct, right? You just type var once, and then you can go to town on declaring variables in this section here up until the begin. So you have that whole area there to declare variables, right? Just to let you know that you can put spaces in here. You can have this on another line. This was I didn't mention this in the first video, so let me not mention right away. Pascal doesn't care, as opposed to languages like Python, which cares a lot. Pascal doesn't care where you put your commands. Once you put that semicolon there, you can write your entire program almost in one line up to a certain point, right? So for instance, you could put program name here, uses CRT, and it'll still compile, zero errors, right? It's not great programming. You're really supposed to document your stuff properly, but you can still do stuff like this, and sometimes it comes in handy, like perhaps in this application we'll see in a minute. But you really want to kind of make your program, especially for the examiners who's correcting your script, to see things in a nice, neat order, right? And it's good to do that, because if you become a programmer, a professional developer, like a full stack developer later on, your company that you're working for is going to have standards for coding, and standards of coding includes things like having neat code, proper variable names, and so on. So you want to get into that habit now if you intend to be a developer later on, right? Just so you know here as well, another point to mention here, you can do this like this: full name, country name, or you can actually put full name, or just full name if you want, like this. A little bit less visually appeasing, but you can put full name, comma, country of type string. So if you have a bunch of strings to declare, you don't have to do this of type string, this of type string. So you can put this, comma, this of type string, and that'll work fine as well, right? I'm just going to comment that out, but basically you can do that as well. I'm just leaving this for the time being like this, because you may be new to this and you need to see it like that. Right, so what we've done here, I've told Pascal, hey, I need to have a variable called full name, and I need to have a variable named country, and they're both of type string because I'm going to be capturing string data, text data. Now I'm going to prompt the user here, so I clear the screen. I'm going to prompt the user, please enter your full name, and at the end here, well, on the next line, let's start with the next line. I'm going to say read ln. Remember we had write ln the last time, right? Now I'm saying read ln. Read ln basically says wait until the user hits enter. That's what this ln stands for. So read ln. And what do I want to read ln here? Can you guess? Please enter your full name. What do I want to read ln? Full name, right? So full name, semicolon, right? So write, please enter your full name. Now because we're using write, the cursor is going to be here, and then we're asking the computer to wait until the person types something in and then hits enter, and then capture that something into this variable called full name, right? So whatever the user types basically is going to end up into this variable full name. Now, just to be a little bit reader friendly, don't let this freak you out, I'm going to put the read ln here, right at the end of the prompt. As I said, we can do that in Pascal, and for me that helps me to remember to keep in one set of in one line the prompt, which is what we're asking for, and the variable that we're asking from them, right? Let's do the other one. So write a nice little asterisk there, please enter your country, and let's put some spaces like that. And here now what we're gonna put? We're gonna put read ln and country, right? So you see why I did that? So you have the read ln right after the write here. So it kind of looks a little bit neater. Your teacher may or may not like it, or I guess you may or may not like it. So you may want to do that. You can, as I said, you can do it like this, and it's the same way, right? Or you can have it at the end here like this, and it does not matter to Pascal at all, right? Once you put those semicolons in there, it's good with that. So basically what we've done at this point is we've asked for the users to enter their name and their country. Now let's output it back to them. Let's make sure we're capturing what they entered, right? So we're going to skip a line, write ln with nothing in it, and we're going to write output write ln hello. Let's put a little space there. Hello space comma. Now notice I'm leaving spaces. Hello and full name. So let's say they entered Joe. We'd get hello Joe, right? No need to put spaces here necessarily, but we do need a space here. So hello Joe, from, and then the country that they entered, and let's put a little exclamation mark here. So notice what we're doing here. So notice write ln, you can put commas and put any amount of commas that you need. So write ln doesn't necessarily have to be just one thing you're outputting, write and write ln. You can put several things like hello, whatever they entered, a variable here, from, hello Joe from Mexico, and an exclamation mark. You can even put numbers and so on. We'll see that in a later video, right? And let's skip a line on the screen, that is, and then let's tell them write ln actually write, press any key to continue, save that, and now for the big moment, F9, no errors. Great, let's run it and see what happens. Boom. Please enter your full name. Okay, let's just say my full name is Gene Smith. Enter. Oh, there you go. Please enter your country. Mexico. Enter. Hello, Jane Smith from Mexico. Press any key to continue. Enter. Bam. And there you have it, right? Very, very easy, very straightforward. What we've done here is, as opposed to the last video where we just output stuff, now we're prompting the user to give us data. We're storing the data inside of variables, so in this case string variables, and we are outputting back whatever they entered back onto the screen. Very, very simple. Now, maybe some red flags going up in your brain saying, well, they can enter anything, right? So let's see that. Anything and any number, and bam, hello gibberish from that, right? So there's no what we call validation. We're not validating anything. Whatever they type in is whatever we're outputting. So garbage in, garbage out, basically, right? If the user enters garbage, garbage is going to come back. Garbage is going to get stored and it's going to come back out. In later videos, we'll look at how do we go about validating some things. You can validate everything. Like you can have a script that checks that to see, hey, you know, names don't usually have semicolons in them, like here, right? A semicolon. Or countries don't usually have numbers, like actual numbers in them. So you can write script to validate anything, and we will look at some of those validation scripts as we go along later on, right? Anyway, I hope you had fun with this. In the next video, what's up for the next video? In the next video, we'll be looking at numeric variables. So here we looked at strings, which are text alphanumeric data, which is numbers mixed with letters mixed with numbers and so on. Character data, basically. In the next video, we will look at numeric variables, constants as well. So yeah, and the difference between variables and constants. And then we look at some maths. So since we're looking at number variables, we look a little bit at how do you add and subtract and how do you write your formulae and so on in your Pascal programs. All right. Hope you had some fun, and we'll catch up in the next video.